Hey everyone, I'm Swapnil Mane, data extraction and web automation expert, a top-rated freelancer and founder of getodata.com. In this video, we are gonna learn about Python using Beautiful Soup, and this is the first video of the data extraction series. We are gonna start with Beautiful Soup and then we are gonna dive into more advanced topics as the videos keep coming. The purpose of these videos is to not just give you an introduction to web scraping, data extraction, but to make you a data extraction expert, because knowing about web scraping won't help you much unless you become an expert at it and start grabbing those gigs. Maybe it can be on Upwork, it can be on Fiverr, you can even get a job out of it. I have done all of three, so that's why I think I can guide you the best. But yeah, my purpose from these videos will be to start from basic, then we will dive into the advanced topics, and then we'll start understanding about freelancing as well. But in each of these videos, make sure you are coding along with me while I am showing you the examples. Plus, to reach that data extraction expert step, and then you can start landing those clients or move to an data analytics field as well, where you become an expert and grab those higher paying jobs. You have to also do projects on your own, and for that, after each of the video, I'll be giving you some project ideas that you can implement on your own, and that will definitely help you in becoming the expert in the specific field. So without wasting any further time, let's get started with web scraping using Beautiful Soup with Python. Here we are, and today we'll be scraping this specific website, which is books.toscrape.com. This website is specifically made for web scraping itself, so we can scrap this website together. So the things that will be scraping the data will be this specific title. We can get the title of the book, then we can extract the price of the book, and then we can also extract this specific URL of all those books, and we will store all the data that we collect in a CSV file, because after extraction you won't want to show the data present on the command prompt. You would want it to store it in a CSV file, an output file like CSV or Excel or JSON. So we will do that as well. And yeah, so let's get started. Also, like, if you would like the codes that I will be sharing today in this video, then you can check out the article that I have already written. I will mention that in the description, so if you would like to copy any of the code, you can simply check it out and copy those. But yeah, make sure you code along with me as well, so that you understand each and every part of scraping data. So let's get started. Here we are. So I have already created a folder named scraping demo YouTube. You can create a folder and then we can start creating our bot here itself in this specific folder. So let's create a Python file, and since we'll be scraping books, so we can name it bookscraper.py. And yeah, so we can start writing our bot over here. But before writing our bot, we of course need to install the Python libraries that are needed to run this specific bot or to create the bot. And before installing Python libraries, make sure you have downloaded Python and installed in your PC. If not, you can download it from python.org website. I won't be doing it here, but yeah, if you do not have Python downloaded and installed, make sure to do that first. And let's install the libraries that are needed. So we can do that with pip install, and we need to install 3 libraries. First one is obviously Beautiful Soup. So Beautiful Soup 4. This is how we install Beautiful Soup. Another library is HTML5 lib, and one more that we want to install is request. So let me explain each of them. So Beautiful Soup, obviously we pass the data, we use it to identify the data, so I will explain it more. HTML5 lib, it helps us to easily map out the data, so it's like one of the Beautiful Soup. So when you install this, you also need to install this. It helps us in extracting data. Then requests, it allows us to send requests to different URLs. So we won't be sending requests through Beautiful Soup, we'll be sending requests through this specific library. So you want to send the request to this specific website, and then we get the data, and then we will pass it using Beautiful Soup. So that's why we need all of these 3 libraries. So let's press enter. And since they were already installed in my PC, so it went quick for me, but this may take a little bit of time on your end. Now after this is done, we are ready to create a scraper, which is bookscraper.py. Now the way we will extract the data is, first we will send the request to this specific website so that we get HTML content. So we will do that using request library since we installed it now, and then we will parse it. So we cannot just use the HTML content, we need to get the specific book name, then price, and then link as well of the specific book. So for that specific purpose we use Beautiful Soup library. So let's get started with sending requests first. So let's get our hands dirty. So we do import requests, save it up, and now we need to send requests to this specific website. So we do that by, we can write r equal to request, or request equal to requests dot get, and we need to pass URL to this. So we can copy this URL and we can paste it over here. So it should be string and it should have like the specific syntax, you can say. And after this is done, so we have got request, which will be request.get, and then if we print out this request, and now to run this specific program you can write Python and then bookscraper.py and then run this specific program, and you got a response 200, which means we successfully got the response from this specific request. I think it would be better to name this response since it's a response, right? So we name this response, we get the request from this specific website, and now this specific response, we cannot work on this, we need some content, maybe it can be HTML content. So we got this response, and now a way to, like, this specific response has various methods which are provided by request itself, this library itself. So to check that, there is an easy method in Python, you can use dir. So let me show it to you. So if we print response, but instead of response we can print dir and then round brackets and then response over here. So this will show all the methods that are possible for this response that we got. So yeah, we can use this specific methods for this specific response that we got, which is like URL. So if you want to get the URL again, you can use the URL method, then status code like 200, so different ways. So I think the one that will be useful for us is like, for we want to get the HTML content, right? So for that, content method is useful. It's useful for getting the HTML content. So let's do that. Let's get the HTML content. So we can remove this one. So if we print response.content, it should provide us the HTML content of the specific page. And yeah, there it is. We got the HTML content of this specific URL. Amazing, right? And now this HTML content is not useful to us because like we want to get the specific data. So now the part of Beautiful Soup comes here, and requests help us to get the specific HTML content, and Beautiful Soup will help us to get the specific data from the HTML content, because request won't help us in that. Beautiful Soup helps us in that. So let's do that now. So to do that, first of all we need to obviously import the Beautiful Soup library, and we can do that by writing from bs4 import Beautiful Soup. So this is how we import the Beautiful Soup library. We import it from here, and now we need to pass this HTML content that we get to the Beautiful Soup, and then we can perform several methods on it to get the specific data that we want. So to do that, let's store the specific HTML content in a variable named page source, and now we can pass this page source to beautiful soup itself. So the way we do it is like, let's create a variable named soup, and then let's call beautiful soup. In this we need to pass the HTML content that we got from this specific page, and we pass page source. And then, like this request library had so many methods, this soup also has a lot of methods which will help us in our scraping needs. So to check that again, let's use the dir method and let's call it on the soup object that we wrote. And now let's run it again, run our scraper again. And yeah, here are all the methods that it has returned. It has a lot many methods which can help us extract the specific data. Like you can see, it has markup, it has find next siblings, find parents, find all, and fetch parents. So this is like all which help us in getting the data. Now to extract the data, before we go into the specific methods that we will be using, we need to open inspect element, and we open it with Control Shift I. So you can also open it here, inspect, or like you can press Control Shift and I on Windows. On MacBook I think you would have to check it on Google, but yeah, if you open inspect element, here is the page structure, and now we need to locate the specific elements so that we can extract the data, because we need to tell beautiful soup like which are the elements that you want to extract or get the data for. For that, first locating the elements come into the play. And for locating, so let's say we want to get the book name, right? So we can simply press on this small icon, here it is showing, and after pressing this we can locate all the elements that are here. And to locate the specific element, which is the title name, we can press again, click over here. So from here, first click and then second click over here, then we get this specific element, and it is present in an anchor tag or a link tag, a link element, and the parent element is h3a. Then the parent element of h3 is article, then the parent element of that is li, and so on. Similarly, the child of li is article, the child of article is h3p and div, h3's child is a. And similarly we have these methods, right? So they help us in finding the parents, they help us in finding the siblings, finding the childs, so that then we can pinpoint to the specific data that we want. So it's very powerful. While extracting data, remember that you can extract data from any website and any data that you want from that website. You can locate any element. Now it can be harder for some elements to locate, but you can locate it. So remember that, because you do not want to tell the clients that you cannot get the specific data. You can get any data that is present on the website. Now after this, let's use one of the method that is present in the beautiful soup library. So one common method that you will use a lot when using beautiful soup is find method, which is here. Find and find all is one of the most used methods in beautiful soup. So let's say we want to get the p tags, this specific elements from the HTML content that we got. Okay, so before doing that, let's print this as well. So if you print the soup, one more thing I missed is a parser over here. So this won't give us the data. One thing I missed is adding a parser over here, and the way we do it is by saying html.parser, because we pass the HTML content to it, but passing the parser is also important. So without passing the parser, it won't be able to identify what data is there. So make sure you add this as well, html.parser. So there are different types of parser, but this will be enough for now, which will parse the HTML content for us. And now we can print it. Let's wait. And now as you can see, it has arranged the data in a specific order, which helps it to identify the elements. And this is how it works. Now after this, let's get the p element present on the specific page. So let's use find method for that. So if we write dot find and a string and a p over there, so what this will do is the find element finds the first element that it gets in the HTML content. So whatever first p element it would see in the HTML content, then it would return that specific element. So in this case, if we run it again, we will get the first p element as it shown over here, right? And to get all the p elements, we need to use another method, which is find all. So similar to find all method is also there, but this one returns all the p elements or all the specific elements that you mention it over here. So yeah, as you can see, it has got us all the p elements. And you can use this to get any other element like h3 as well or li as well. It would get all the specific elements, right? Now we will use this method to now scrape the data. So yeah, how can we do that? So let's say now we want to extract, as I said, we want to extract the book name, we want to extract the price, and we want to extract the book URL, which is the main thing of scraping, extracting specific data. And so first of all, for extracting the title, let's locate that specific element, which is over here. It's located in h3. So let's get this h3 tag. So if you see for other elements, other book title as well, they are also stored in h3 and then a. So let's get all the h3 elements first, and for that we can use find all method. And we have already added h3 over here. So if you print this out, it got us all the h3 elements, and it got us that in the specific list, right? Specific list, this is one h3 element, this is another one, and so on. Now we do not need the complete h3 element. We need, so you may ask, like is there a way like we can remove this HTML elements, because we do not need the HTML elements, we just need the text of it, we just need the book names, not the other things. And yes, there is a way to extract specific text from the elements from Beautiful Soup itself. So there is a way to do that. So yeah, we have got all the h3 elements using the find all method, and we can now iterate through each of the element. So for each heading, but before iterating we need to store this in a variable. So heading elements, we can name it heading elements, and to iterate through each of the element we can create a for loop. So for each heading in heading elements, and if we print it up, this will print up each of the element that we have collected using the find all method. But we need to not collect the elements, but we need to just get the text from each of the element. We do not need the other data, that is h3 tag, a tag, but just the text that is present in each of the element, right? For identifying the book name. So to do that, we have another method in the specific element that the Beautiful Soup itself provides, which is get text. So this method will remove all the unneeded element data that is present, and it will just get us the text data present in each of the element. So if we now execute this program, python bookscraper.py, let's see if we get the book's name. And yeah, you can see we got the book name of each of the book. Now that we have got each of the book names, we can get the URL as well. So to do that, let's see. So if we come here and you see the book URL is present in the h3 element itself. Here is the book URL which is present href value, and we need to get this for each of the book that we are extracting. So since we are already iterating through each of the heading elements, we can call a find method on this specific each heading as well, and then get the a element from each of the heading that we are iterating through. So to explain that in easy words, let's just do it. So since we are iterating through each of the element, let's find a element in each of the headings. So each link can be a variable name for that, and we'll call a find method on each of the heading that we are iterating through, and it should be a. So this will return us or each of the link in each of the heading that we are iterating through. And now since we do not need to just get the element, complete element, we just need the value of href, and for that there is another method called just get, not get text, and it will be just get, and you add a string over here and add a href value. So it will just get the value of href that is present in the link. And now let's run this scraper again, and yeah, we have got the URL as well. So first is the book name and second is the book URL. Book name, book URL, right? Amazing. Now let's get to the last part, which is scraping the prices as well. So if you locate this price again, now this specific element is not present in the h3 tag. This is separate. So that's why we need to scrape this separately as well. Now if you look closely at this, this is stored in a p element, p tag. Now so to do that we need to get the p tag, right? But the thing is, like, there are a lot of other p tags as well. So we need to specifically get p tag with class price color, and we can do that easily. So we can search the elements with class name as well. So you can copy the class name, which is price color, and you can come to the program. Now we need to get it separately, right? So we can write pricing elements, which will be the variable name. We call soup, then find all, and not this. We need to get the p elements, right? But we need to get all the p elements with class name as price color. And there is a second argument that find all can take, which is an object in which you can pass the class. So you need to find the p with class name and this. So this is how you can search the elements with class, and you can similarly do that with id as well. So if this was not class but it was id, so you can just replace this with id and it would work the same as well. But yeah, since here it is class, we'll use this, and this would locate all the elements with p elements with class price color. So if we print this up now and run it again, as you can see, it has got us the list of each of the book prices, each of the price elements. And now since we have got the book name, we have got the book URL, and we have got the book prices as well, we need to combine them in one order so that we can extract it to a CSV file, which is our last and final purpose. So let's do it now. So now let's export this to a CSV, the data that we have collected. But yeah, since the pricing elements is separate right now, and we need to also get the text from each of the pricing elements, let's bring this pricing elements in this for iteration itself. So we can do that by feature of Python called zip, and in that, for each heading and each pricing element, we can use a method called zip2. So this is also a list, right? So we can iterate through two lists at a time using zip method. And this is pricing element, but it was declared later, so let's put this up. And now we are iterating through each of the heading and each of the pricing element, and we can bring this in the for loop itself. And pricing elements, not pricing elements, but each of the pricing elements, if you print it up, it will bring the pricing element of each. And since we need to get the text of it, we can call the get text method over here, and this will get us the text. So if we now print it, if we now run the program again, it will get us the book name, book URL, book price, and now we can store the complete data into a list. So let's say complete data into a list, so that we can export it to a CSV later using a library called CSV, but let's discuss that later. Now let's append the data that we have collected to the specific list. So complete data dot append, we see each heading, but not each heading, but we have to get, we can name this book name, which is the text, then each link, not each link, book link equal to this, so that we can append the data, then book price for this, and then we can append the data individually. So this will be, so now to append the data, we can store it as an object in the list. So we add book name, and auto completion already done it. So book price for book price, and book link, book link, and we add the book link as well, and this will append the data. There is some, yeah, there is result, and this will store all the data in this specific list. Now we need to export this to CSV. So for that we can use a library called CSV, import CSV first. This is a built-in library of Python, so no need to install it separately. Now that we have collected the data, we need to store it in a CSV file, and for that let's create the file name first, which will be script books.csv, and let's have the field names that we'll be having in the CSV. So this will be the field names: book name, book price, and book link, because we want this to be in our CSV file. And now to create the CSV file, we'll use the with feature of Python. We'll create a file with open, and the file name will be this CSV file name that we have already mentioned above, and we'll use the W method, which is write, and then new line equals to this, so that it does not create a new line for every row. And encoding, we can pass encoding to it, which will be UTF-8, so that it does not create any unwanted characters in our CSV file. And we can use as CSV file, and then we need to perform some operations on this CSV file so that we can add this data. So we can use CSV library for that, and we write csv.dictWriter, and we pass this CSV file that we have just created, and we need to add the field names that it will be having. So it is already created, so field names equal to field names, this is this one. And now we need to write the data that is we have collected in the complete data. So to do that, we can use the write rows method, and we can pass the complete data to it. So, and if we save this up, hopefully this should save all the data, and it should output the data over here. So let's run the program, and it has created a CSV file. So let's see if this is correct. So revealing file explorer, and if you open this up, and we have extracted the data. Yeah, amazing. If you have any questions, make sure to mention those in the comments. And it's done. Hope that you liked the video, and if you do, make sure to let me know that in the comments. Now coming to the next steps, to become a data extraction expert, you have to do as many projects as possible. Now we covered some of the very basic topics in web scraping, and in the next upcoming videos we'll be moving to the more advanced topics which will solve the problems that you get while web scraping. Now to understand like what type of problems we may get while we are scraping the data, what you can do is like you can create a list of like just 2 or 3 of your favorite websites that you usually use, and try getting the data from those by using the things that we learned today, like beautiful soup and request library, and just try to get like simple data, simple elements from the specific websites. You do not need to log in, you can just get the data without logging in, and you will face problems in it. You may like get blocked, or you may not be able to get some of the elements, or like there can come several problems. But yeah, it will make you understand like what type of issues we may get. And do not worry too much if you get stuck and if you are not able to solve it, because in the upcoming videos we'll be learning advanced topics which will help you solve those specific problems. So yeah, do that. And along with that, like some of the freelancing tips, try exploring the freelancing platforms for now. Just exploring. Like the Upwork app and Fiverr app are amazing, so you can explore that, like how these platforms work, what types of jobs are posted. We'll be covering those specific platforms in detail as well in the upcoming videos. Till then, you can just keep exploring these platforms. And yeah, bye. Have a great day.